Welcome back to City Skylines II in White Pine County. My name is Caesar. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're gonna, I don't know what I was saying there. We're gonna work on reaching 100,000 people today. I was gonna do that last episode, but then I ended up building this, and then we only went up on like 1,000 people, and that wasn't really much damage because it's all really low density. And I want to leave this area as kind of like lower density for now. This will probably develop in the future and get bigger, kind of how this area did. But I think for now we're going to leave this alone. But one area I want to start kind of rezoning is kind of our initial area. I did a little bit of testing and traffic seems to have been able to support it here. Like the infrastructure was fine enough to support it. So I'm going to go ahead and start kind of zoning in a couple of different blocks here. We're not going to zone everything. We're not going to put skyscrapers here. But we're going to start putting in some like apartment buildings and things like that. That way we can just get a bit more density going. And that'll hopefully just boost that population up without having to do anything kind of crazy. So I think what we'll do, we have these blocks here. We have 3x2s here, which are already being used technically. I'm going to go ahead and bulldoze all of those. And instead of those low residentials, we're going to go ahead and put in the medium density housing. We're going to go ahead and do the UK version, the UK, the European version, only because I've been using American version for pretty much everything over here. So I want to switch it up a little bit, maybe make it look a little bit different anyways. I don't know. This game doesn't have a lot of variety in the assets, so hopefully that improves in the future. I guess we'll see. So I think we'll go with something like that. I think a 2x3, if that builds up, that's perfect. And we're going to go through here and just make sure they're all 2x3s. That way all the buildings are just similar in size. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side over here. So we're going to go ahead and de-zone all of this. And obviously these slots are bigger, but we're not going to use the entire block. We're going to go ahead and just use 2x3s like that. And these will build up into nicer buildings, bigger buildings, more density, which is going to be good for what we're trying to do here. Now I want to fix this little bit of gridding here because it's kind of broken because of this road here. So I think if I do this, we get our zoning back on this side, and that kind of works out. So again, get rid of that, de-zone all of this, and just keep going down with our 2x3 pattern. And we got some condos, so that's pretty cool. How do those look? They might fit nicely in this area. I've also been looking at more news about Prison Architect 2. There's not much out there besides the release date being pushed back, and which I can't say I'm mad about it. I'd rather the game be completely done, or at least in a better state than they say it is, before it comes out, you know? Because I'd rather not. Like, what was that one game that came out recently? It was a zombie game. Why is my brain not working? Infection-Free Zone. It was broken to heck. Every time they would update something, the saves would break, or they would break randomly for no reason. And very good concept, but they just kind of failed to deliver on it, which kind of sucks, because it seemed like kind of like The Day Before. You guys remember that game? The new open-world zombie survival game that was supposed to come out and supposed to be really good. It came out and flopped, and they were closed within a week, or over the weekend. They refunded everybody's game because of how much of a flop it was. It seems like every new game that comes out these days is like that. They're unfinished, they're undone, and it just feels like kind of like a scam, you know what I mean? And I wish more games took accountability when it came to the, you know, to like where their games are, like the stage of their development, and be honest to their, you know, supporters of like, hey, our game's not going to be done in time because of this, and that, instead of just releasing a broken game. Which, you know, we're playing City Skylines 2, and the game doesn't really have the track record of of doing that either, so I can't really say this game did it well, because it didn't. So, you know, hopefully games can learn from games like City Skylines 2 and things like that, because the release of this game, if you guys, I mean, obviously, probably everybody remembers that, but it was a disaster. I want to keep that same kind of pattern we're going here with the bushes, so I'm going to just grab the same bushes that we had there. Just like that. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, please. It helps out a ton. And channel's still growing at a really cool rate, so it's really cool to see that continuing. So appreciate the support. Join the Discord down below. Stay connected with things like that. Yeah, I'll stop yapping about that. There we go. Alright, while everything's finishing up, we're going to do some work here in our park. We got to get this back going again. Because, well, I don't really like how it turned out. We kind of destroyed something cool that was here. The vibe, like, this was one of the first things we built when we started this playthrough. So, you know, we don't want to destroy the history that's here, which I already kind of did. by building this area, if I'm being honest, but I'm okay with it because it's for a good reason, so I'm gonna live with it and be okay with it. I think we'll just go basic. Look at that, almost 88,000. That's super cool to see. Let's keep going before we hit the number, all right? Now here you can see we started to develop this area and then we kind of just stopped. And it kind of looks really weird. So I'm going to take down these buildings and use some mixed zoning here. Because it'll give us the taller buildings here while keeping the businesses intact. I think that's a good way to do this. So I think we'll just go with something like that. Super simple stuff. Traffic's already coming in. Everybody's moving in. So we're going to go and speed up the game. Let everything kind of rebalance out. It's going to take a minute. Usually does. But once everybody's in, I think it'll look really, really well. There we have it. Everybody's going to move in. It'll be mixed use, so we'll have some housing and some commercial, which will help a little bit of our demand, because you can see that our super demand is... Yeah. And the reason this is an insane demand is because my taxes are super low. Like, we're making $89,000 an hour. My taxes are like 6%. And that's what I like about this game. It's kind of more investment-based, so like, if you invest into your city by lowering your taxes and giving people an easier leg up to make it somewhere, they tend to... you know, perform a little bit better. I think it's really cool. I don't know. Maybe I could also just be overthinking it for no reason, and yeah. So we're gonna go sit here, watch the traffic for just a little bit, see if it kind of fixes itself. If not, we'll have some work to do, but for now, we'll just leave it, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've been watching it for a few minutes now, and I've noticed, I guess I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed it probably before me, is back here it's moving perfect, like, you know, for the most part fine, right? But up here is where it's like the major problem, where it's getting stuck. And it's this light right here. This traffic light is like destroying any sort of traffic flow that we might have in this area. So I think we're going to remove this for now. And then we'll use our lane connector tool. We're going to remove all not remove all connections. Oops. Remove U-turns and remove unsafe. And let that flow like this. There we go. We'll see if this helps it a little bit. Okay, this is cleared out completely, which is really good. How's this doing back here? This is already completely cleared. Which might be coincidence, because I literally just did that and the traffic's already gone. I actually don't know where the traffic went. That was wild, okay. I was not expecting that. Well, looks like it might have been an okay change to make. I wish they had like a slightly bigger clinic or slightly smaller hospital. Something in between this monster building and these tiny little clinics. Because it goes from tiny little clinic to massive hospital without any gap in between. Maybe it's just, like they rushed it out or something, but... it's definitely not enough sometimes. I'd like to have something in the middle. Who knows? Okay, looks like this car accident cleared itself up, so that's fantastic. 88,000 people. I'm going to slow time down again now the traffic is cleared up. Which means this area is able to support all those changes that we made. It's really good. Now, what's going on here? Didn't I put the mixed zoning here? How did we get the same buildings over and over? Or am I lost? No, this is it. I thought I put the mixed zoning here, so shouldn't these be bigger buildings? Let's let this flow a little bit, alright? Let's watch this for a couple seconds until they grow. I want to see if they're actually going to go into... Okay, see? Now they're bigger. You can actually see them, they're going to be bigger, alright? So that's going to go. It's going to help our population up a little bit, too. We might be able to reach 100,000 people here in a second anyway. That's really fantastic to see. Which, I guess while we're doing so, we should take a look at our unemployment rate. How's our unemployment? 8.6%. It's kind of high, if I'm being honest. It's kind of high. That means 8% of our people can't find jobs, which is bad for the economy, to say the least. This is like, there's no growth in the economy, so everybody's starting to panic, right? We're going to get a 2008 kind of issue here. I guess 2009. Alright, let's see. Do we... Why is that not snapping? There we go. Okay, that's going to make me... I know it's going to make you guys cringe, but it's going to make me cringe. And I don't cringe at anything that I do usually. I usually just kind of watch it and allow you guys to suffer the mess that I'm making. But I'll be nice and try to fix this a little bit, okay? So let's go with something like this. Like that. That's fine. It's going to make this super simple. Not going to overcomplicate this at all. Just going to zone that up, and it'll zone in. We'll get a bunch of new businesses, and unemployment rate will come down a little bit, which is going to be very, very good. Look at that. Almost 89,000 people in our city, which is really, really good. Now, I think we should expand this just a little bit more. And I think a good area to do this is just to continue this into here, right? And kind of start blending this together a little bit more, because we have a little bit of gaps here. I think getting rid of these houses for some smaller apartment buildings I think also makes sense. So I think we'll do that. We'll go ahead and just delete these. I mean, call a mulligan on those, sorry. I keep saying delete, I don't know why. And we'll get some medium density apartment buildings here. And I think we'll go with 2x3s here. Did I even put a 2x3? I don't even know if I did or not. Let's get rid of that. It's a little small. What if we go a 3x3? How does that look? That's a little better. I think we'll do a mix of them. We'll do a couple of these 3x3s, and then we'll go to the 2x3s, 2x3s, maybe another 3x3, then a couple more 2x3s like that. That way it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not like anything, it's just its own thing, I guess. But I think these buildings here will bring us all the way to the 100, I guess, to at least 90,000 people. I think this area here alone will bring us to 90,000 people. Hopefully. Gonna go ahead and watch this and see what it does for our population, alright? So, see you in a second. So, it looks like they did build it pretty well. I think it's gonna help the population pretty well here. I think these hold a decent amount of people, don't they? Residents 23 to 32. Definitely more than these houses, which are only holding a couple at a time anyway. Yeah, like 4, well, you know, up to 5 people, looks like. So these are definitely going to be better for the population, and they kind of blend the area a little bit more, rather than just leaving it as apartments and straight to housing. It goes like the bigger apartments, you can see it scaling down to the smaller apartments, and then it goes back to regular housing. Just kind of the vibe I was going for, so it's starting to build up the area, but it's not going to be an extreme shock, where it's just skyscraper and then bam, house. You know? So I think it'll look a little bit better. Now, last area I want to kind of develop is this area here. I think this will be like the unique connection from here onto this road here. So if we ever start to redevelop this area, it'll look like a giant row of apartment buildings. I think it'll look a little bit nicer than just hardcore allowing it to just go, you know? So I think it'll look a little bit better. And we got rid of some commercial there, so we want to make sure to replace that because we're already struggling to meet that demand. So we're going to have to make sure we can, you know, at least improve on it a little bit. I think it'll be fine. All right, so let's get some 2x3s in here. And I think if we go some 2x3s through here, just like this, and then through here, we're going to zone pretty much wherever we can in here and let them build kind of naturally, and I think it'll be fine. If it's not, then we'll deal with it later, but for now it should be good. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to develop any of this area, but the more I think about it, it makes more sense to start developing a little bit of this area now. So I want to start to blending this area in. So what's going to happen, right, is it's going to go from these skyscrapers to these, like, smaller apartment buildings, and then gradually increase to more skyscrapers going this way. Maybe, like, in here somewhere. So I think continuing on where we left off yesterday, or last video, which is like 5-6 days ago at this point. My apologies, by the way. I'm trying to get my schedule back in order, but it's kind of been a bit of a mess, so hopefully I can figure that out pretty soon. So I think what we're going to do is start off small. We're going to go ahead and dezone all of this here. Okay, something simple. Just like that. Go all the way through here. Dezone all of this. Destroy all these houses. Oh, if I actually click on them, it'll actually get rid of those. There we have it. Bam. And I want to switch this grid a little bit up because it's kind of on the wrong block that I don't want it to be on. There we go. Just like that will be fantastic. Now that that's facing the correct way, we can go ahead and start zoning in a little bit of the medium density, which is what I want here. I think if we just let this kind of go free, just like that, I think it'll be fine. And I want to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Make sure our zone is working correctly. There we have it. Then we get rid of this road here. Opens up a little bit more zoning over here. And that's just fantastic. All the way through. I like that. Same thing over here. 2x3s all the way through. Just like that. 2x3s. There we have it. This will be like the initial start of how this is going to go. A lot of these houses here don't really make sense either. These should all be like apartments here. Now I'm doing this because I want it to feel like over time the city's rezoning areas and allowing for higher densities to meet the demand of expensive, I guess, not the demand for expensive housing, but like to fix the expensive housing issue, providing more units is going to be better in the long run. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Now, a lot of this will rebuild itself over time, but I'm kind of impatient, so I'm going to go through and just start demolishing a bunch of these buildings. We're also going to get rid of some of the zoning over here, because it's going to destroy a lot of the ground here. I think we'll go with something like that. Get rid of that. De-zone all of this. It's in a very weird spot. That's fine to develop, but just leave that empty. And, oops. Clicking wrong buttons. Anyways, let's watch. Alrighty. I've been watching this for like 10 minutes now, I think it is. And it finally, for the most part, built up all the way. There we go. Kind of blends in with the red stairs there, huh? Goes well, yeah? Oh, it's because there's another building in there. Still looks together, right? It still kind of works. Should fix that. There we go. I had anarchy down when I put that in, so it's all kind of messed up right now. Let's move this again. Let's turn off anarchy. There we go. So we know it actually fits where we're putting it down, not just the weird broken stuff. There we have it. And to fix these weird like little gaps here that are going to bother me, for some reason this area is bothering me more than anything else. I'm going to go ahead and grab our birch tree. Is it birch? Not the birch, not the birch. I want these poplar trees, because they're smaller. They look like small versions of the birch, so that's why I like them. Can I get my line tool here? There we have it. We'll do 5 meters away. We'll go adult trees. And just like that. Solid line like that. I'll be fine. There we go. Looks a little bit better now like that. Now, the reason I did this is because this kind of blends in together better than the smaller residential housing that we had here. Now, we have a lot of terrain issues, but a lot of this can be easily remedied. But just doing some basic terrain work, so that's what we're going to do right now. And we're not going to overcomplicate this, as long as things don't go bad anyway. But we're going to pull some of this terrain back a little bit. Small terrain work makes that weird terrain issues look a lot better, and it just feels a little bit more planned out, you know? So now there's a lot of empty space in here, and it feels kind of weird. So what we're going to do is grab our vegetation, the way we always do. We're going to grab our oak trees, we're going to grab our brush, and I think we're just going to spray these in. We're going to make sure to have anarchy off, to make sure no issues happen here. Right? And we're just going to we're just going to very liberally spray these in. Okay? That's fine. Even go towards the water. That's perfectly fine with me. Spray those all in, just like that. Take those across the street there. There we have it. All the way through here. Now the reason I'm spraying them everywhere is I want these to... I'm kind of going the wrong way, huh? Anyways, there's a lot of oak trees over here, so I want to kind of start using the oak trees to kind of blend the areas in. And I think vegetation's a good way to do that, because if you have similar vegetations in areas, it kind of feels like they were planned together, you know? So I think something like this works very, very well. Everything blends together and it just feels like one giant blended area. And that's kind of what I'm going for with this whole thing. There we have it. Just like that. I think this just feels very, very nice. We're also at 92,000 people. We're growing pretty quickly here, but I don't think this is going to be enough. I don't think 10,000 people, because we were at about 90 when we started this. I don't think 10,000 people are going to fit there. But one thing we got to watch out for is letting this traffic kind of fix itself before we do any more, because right now this is completely backed up. I don't even know where this highway comes from. Oh, it comes from here. Then it goes this way. Okay. Here's one of the default highways that was already here on the map. I kind of left it and used it. but we're having a lot of traffic issues, and it's just because everybody's moving in for the first time. All right, but once everybody moves in, it'll clear up a little bit nicer. I guess I probably could have upgraded a little bit of these roads to make it have the space to grow into itself a little bit better, but I think it's okay. I'm not too worried about it yet. It's something to keep an eye on like everything else, but I think it's going to kind of fix itself over time. Now, I don't want to do a lot more right now, especially while we don't know if it's going to work or not. So I think we might let the game run here for a little bit and just see if everybody moves in, things start to clear out. You can see it's this intersection here that's causing all the issues. Yeah, big time. So I think if we just get rid of the light here, how we did on that road over there, let it free flow very unrealistically for now, but I think it'll work. We can also use our priorities tool. Yield, give way to the traffic coming from other roads with higher. Yeah, so yield's already turned on there. Obviously want these as priority roads. I think this place could do good with a dedicated turn lane. I think it'd be fine like that. So what if we go to, not lane, need our lane connector tool. Go in here, get rid of U-turns and unsafe turns. That'll be fine. And we're gonna get rid of the ability to go straight here. Leave it like that, because it looks like most traffic's going straight or right. So giving them each a dedicated lane is gonna help a lot more with traffic, and I think it'll be fine. There we go. Looks like it's flowing a little bit better. It's getting less stuck here. Obviously, there's just a lot of traffic because it's, you know, a bunch of housing was built, so it's expected. We're also going to have a bunch of issues with our public services because our public services weren't set to really handle 100,000 people. So I think something we're going to have to take care of pretty early on. And we can see we're having a lack of medical availability here. And I think the reason is just because cars aren't able to reach over here as much. Well, it looks like a lot of it's just crematorium issues. So what if we get another crematorium, right? You place this. We'll place this here. No. That's that nicer building. I don't want to put that nicer building there. We'll get rid of these smaller buildings. I think it'll be fine. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, we'll put that there. This will probably be temporary, unless it's absolutely needed in the future. It'll be temporary, okay? But the game's definitely screaming at me that it needs more vehicles, so I think building the availability, I guess is what I'm trying to say, for this to handle this. I think this will be able to take care of a lot of this crematorium issue. I think it'll be good to go. You can already see a lot of this backed up traffic's already cleared up for the most part. It doesn't go all the way back anymore. And you can see this roundabout's getting cleared up. Looks like clearing this intersection here was definitely the move, and I think it's going to be fantastic when it's all done. But there we go. You can see it coming together very well, and I'm very, very happy with how this is turning out. Now, we're still about 4,000 people short off of our 100,000 goal. And I really want to reach it because it'll be the first city I've ever reached 100,000 people in City Skylines II. So I want to do that. And I think getting rid of these... Actually, these little row homes actually have a lot of density to them. I'm not going to touch those because they have density. They have a use to me. So that's how we're going to leave them. I think we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of these houses here on this cul-de-sac. Right there. Boom. And I know we're doing a lot of crazy stuff today, but my main goal with everything today is to hit 100,000 people. That's my goal, right? So I'm okay with doing some crazy stuff this episode. We can always come back later on and make it look a little bit more pretty. But I think that being my ultimate goal is good. Because I want to hit I want to hit 100,000 people because it's gonna kind of play into the next city that I've been working on. Well, I guess the first episode for that. And I'll be honest, I recorded it. I have it mostly edited. It's not completely done yet, but I want to do a little bit more on White Pine County before I just ditch it. Well, I'm not going to ditch White Pine County. Well, let me correct myself there before anybody freaks out or anything like that. But it's going to be a back and forth thing, so we'll have one episode there, one episode here type of thing. And that'll be the kind of the way we do things there. But I think it'll work out. I think it'll be all right. What's going on over here? Big traffic jam here. There's just a lot of this new traffic moving in. I think a good thing to do right now is gonna be just let the game run and see if it can support all of this. We might be able to even hit 100,000 people with the housing we have here. So I'm gonna let the game run here for a second, and we're gonna watch. Actually, I'm gonna skip forward for when we hit 100,000 people. All right, so see you in a couple of minutes or a couple seconds for you. There we go, 100,000 people. We can say we hit it. I just got the Steam achievement right there. Reach a population of 100,000 people, 6 figures. Got the achievement and everything to prove it. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you very, very soon. Hopefully by Saturday. We'll see what happens though. But until next time, please join the Discord down below. Bye-bye.